Yo, what is going on, guys? Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on my channel. For today's video, I will be talking about the new supposedly Green Arrow HBO Max reboot, and I'll basically just be breaking it all down and giving you guys my thoughts on it and why this news is just total BS. So a couple of days ago, there were these news outlets going around and saying that after the conclusion of Stephen Amell's Arrow TV series from the CW, HBO Max wanted to do their own version of Oliver Queen, which is totally different than the Arrowverse version. He's more comic accurate, and that the HBO Max Green Arrow would supposedly appear in John Cena's Peacemaker series, and then eventually having his own TV show or something like that, and that obviously being his introduction into the DCEU as well, because we know John Cena's Peacemaker is from the DCEU. So if Green Arrow was to appear on that, that would supposedly suggest that he would appear in the DCEU as well. And I saw many people online just freaking out over this, so I thought of doing a video about this whole situation and breaking it down, breaking basically everything down, and as I said before, telling you guys why this is just all pure BS. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more DC content coming your way. Okay, so I was able to find the original article, like where this news first started to spread. So I'm gonna go over that article. I'm not gonna name the site because I do not want to spread like hate or anything. I'm just gonna talk about why what they're saying is just BS. So I'm gonna read some segments of the article and I'll also talk about it as I go along. So it starts off, it's been revealed to us by our sources that Warner Media is working on a Green Arrow reboot and he'll be introduced in the HBO Max's Peacemaker series. This comes after Stephen Amell lead Arrow show came to an end at the CW. It's been reported to us that this version of the Green Arrow will be very different from Stephen Amell's version. According to multiple sources, the idea is to keep the character close to the comic book version, which isn't quite as dark as the Amell take on the comic book hero. It was revealed a few weeks back that the Peacemaker series starring John Cena was ordered by HBO Max and that James Gunn would be writing it and directing some of the episodes as well. So obviously we already knew that Peacemaker would be getting his own Suicide Squad TV spin-off series, which would be on HBO Max, and obviously James Gunn would be working on that TV show because he has mentioned working with John Cena was just so much fun on the Suicide Squad set, and he really wants to do more with the character of Peacemaker. So this is why Peacemaker is now getting his HBO Max show, and that obviously James Gunn would be writing and directing some episodes. But apparently this Peacemaker series is to make Green Arrow's debut as well, and that the HBO Max version of Green Arrow or Oliver Queen would be totally different version to the one compared to Stephen Amell's Oliver Queen over at the CW. What's more interesting about all of this, however, is that when they start quoting their sources, I'm going to mention it right now. So they go off. Here's what one of our sources said about the upcoming Peacemaker series and introducing a new version of the Green Arrow to the DCEU. Warner Brothers are about to reboot the Green Arrow for HBO. No casting details as of yet. They intend to introduce him in a HBO Max series, and it's looking like it's going to be Peacemaker, and it will be a major departure from the CW version. This new Green Arrow will be a lot more comic accurate than Amell's version, but with a James Gunn twist. Okay, so there are a couple of things to discuss about this. The news outlet that released this are related to the most unreliable sites ever, such as We Got Discovered and Cosmic Book News. So they chat BS without having any proper evidence whatsoever, with them literally making up these quotes out of their mouths. So these are not from like sources or anything. They just made all of this up by themselves. Not just that, but when they type exclusive news, yet this is literally a site no one has ever heard of. So the chances of more reliable outlets such as Deadline, TV Line, Discussing Film, and Variety not getting this exclusive info, yet a totally random site manages to get inside info about this, makes no sense at all. Another thing in regards to that is, why on earth would they reboot Green Arrow on a Peacemaker show? That makes no sense at all. If they were to make a Green Arrow to appear in the DCEU, he would have to appear in like one of the movies first, so they know that Green Arrow is actually in the DCEU, and then maybe get his own HBO Max show like that. But there is no way an important character like Green Arrow would be rebooted in a series like Peacemaker. So if he was to appear in like one of the other series, he would be like in the more important one, such as like the Green Lantern show, for example. But I think that's separate to the DCEU. So if Green Arrow was actually to appear, he would appear in like the movie side of things at first. But this is the most bonkers part, if you will. This Peacemaker series has not even been filmed yet, or it hasn't even started filming. They don't even have proper castings yet. And they come out and say that they got exclusive info, which would supposedly suggest that the writers of the Peacemaker series gave them this inside info, because there's no one else that would literally give away this news. Why would the writers themselves even spoil something like that to an unknown news outlet and tell them that Green Arrow will show up in this spin-off and maybe get his own show as well? Well, they obviously would get this spoiler and inside info if they make up themselves. Also, if it was such a big reveal like introducing Green Arrow, and the writers behind the show would want to talk about it, I think they would want to advertise the fact that Green Arrow would show up and not keep it a secret. This news is just so BS, to the point where James Gunn, the showrunner for the Peacemaker series, literally comes in and says it's nonsense. The person behind the Peacemaker series himself even confirmed that whatever this news outlet is saying is just total BS. And also, when they said that this would be a major departure from the CW as well, that's wrong too. Stephen Amell even himself said that he considered doing Arrow Season 9 if his new show Heels didn't go as planned. However, now that it is up and running, he also said that never say never. Meaning, if Stephen Amell is willing to return for like a cameo or a crossover, they will still have the rights to the character of Oliver Queen or Green Arrow, even if he wanted to do Arrow Season 9. If his new show Heels gets like bad ratings or something, maybe he might want to come back to Arrow and do Season 9. However that's possible, I don't know, because they obviously killed off Oliver Queen. But they'll probably find like another excuse to bring Oliver back, and they'll do Arrow Season 9 if obviously Stephen Amell would be willing to do it. But trust me guys, I would want absolutely nothing more than a Green Arrow show, or even an Arrow Season 9. Those who watch my videos regularly would know Green Arrow is my favorite comic book character of all time, and Arrow is my favorite TV series of all time. So if it's a totally different take on Stephen Amell's Green Arrow, as long as we have a Green Arrow, I would want nothing more. Although in my opinion, Stephen Amell's take on the character was a lot more badass than the comic book version of the character, since his take was like a mixture of Oliver Queen and Batman, which I absolutely love, don't get me wrong. But it would be really cool if we also got to explore the more comic book accurate version of Oliver Queen. I think that would be something really interesting to see. So guys, next time you guys see those unknown news outlets talking about exclusive info, make sure you guys go on to like double check and go on to like the more reliable outlets such as Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, TV Line, Variety, Discussing Film. And I can't really think of more. These were just from the top of my head, but double check them to make sure what they're saying is true. And obviously if it's not over there, that would mean that those unknown news outlets literally just made all of that themselves, and the chance that they're exclusive news, it's not exclusive, it's just pure speculation. It's nothing that's been confirmed, and they made up all their like sources and stuff by themselves. So if, like as I said, the more known news outlets such as Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, if they don't have the exclusive info that this unknown outlet does, it's definitely made up. There is no way Deadline wouldn't have it, but these people that released this news right now would have it. There's no chance that that would ever be a thing. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think about all of this. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.